Hi, everybody. This is Eric from Steady Notion. I'm here today with Mr. Frank Spearey. Frank hails from Falmouth, Nova Scotia. He was with the Canadian Armed Forces for many, many years, and he also did a lot in the private sector after his career in the military. So Frank's here today to tell us one of the several stories that he has from his time in the forces. And so with that, Frank, I'm going to turn it over to you, and I guess we can get started.
Well, thank you, Eric, for that. Yes, my name is Frank Spearey. I served in the Canadian military from 1959 to 1985, 26 years. I've been out for 40, so you get an idea. I'm an old guy. But I got some very nice stories to share with everyone. And this story started in January of 1964. I was on HMCS Bonaventure, which is our one and only aircraft carrier. And I was on his ship's company air, so I was not with the squadron, but we were there for support for the squadron, and we got all the special tools, and we had a couple of vehicles to look after, so we were part of the ship's company. And we were over in the Mediterranean doing exercises, NATO exercises with a whole bunch of American ships, British ships, French ships. God knows how many ships were there. And we're in and out of the Mediterranean into the Atlantic. And basically our home port was Gibraltar. We were in and out of there several times for fuel and for food and take a day off to get off the boat for a walk around. And so during that exercise, we got a call to head back to Halifax as quickly as possible to pick up the French Vendus Army Division from Quebec to take them to Cyprus for a peacekeeping mission. So we set sail for Halifax as hard as we could go. We got in, I think it was on a Friday. Everybody, no shore leave, everybody was on board all weekend. We got the Army on board down in the hangars where the aircraft would normally be. The aircraft were lashed to the front of the ship, all covered up in tarps, keep them dry. And the Army lived in there. So we set sail heading for Cyprus. And I think 2.5 days out, we hit a big storm. And it was pretty rough, but the poor soldiers didn't have a hope. They were down in they had their jeeps there, their armored vehicles, they had their tents, they had their bunks, and they slept there. They ate in a mess if they could. I think they lived on soda crackers the whole trip. So we did get to Cyprus, and we did get them off the ship in a little village on the south end of the island called Famagusta, and we got them. We were anchored out because we couldn't tie up with a war going on in the north, and we weren't that far from it because you could hear artillery shells, and you could see flashes from the cannons at night. So we were pretty close. So away they went, and so I forget what day of the week it was. Anyways, so the next morning the captain got on. He said, "Starboard watch, you can go ashore now. It's 9:30. You could be back by 11:30. You got 2 hours. Go and have a look around. Come back, and we'll send the port watch in the afternoon." So to get off the ship, we had to go down like 2 decks, and no stairs, of course, the rope ladder. So down you go on the barge, and the tugboat took us into Famagusta, and little tourist town. Looked kind of nice. And my buddy Ray and I walked around, and we sat down at this little place and said it was pretty hot. It's like 95 degrees, and we were in our bell bottoms, navy blues, and our white gun shirt, and of course our sailor's hat. And so we sat down in this place under an umbrella, and I noticed that the men there were drinking beer, but it came in quart bottles. The quart bottle is the same size as a liter of milk. It's a big bottle. It's double pints, so it's like 2 pints of beer in a quart.
Were there other sizes, or was that it? That was the only.
That was great.
Sorry, Frank. Just a question for you: were there other sizes as well, or was that basically that's all you got?
They only came in quarts.
They only came in quarts.
Quarts only. That was it. But so we were watching how the locals were drinking. They had a little beer glass, and they put some lemon extract in it, and they put their beer in. So I asked them, when I said, "Why is that?" Because he said it's very bitter beer. It's very bitter. So I turned around the back of the label, and I looked at that alcohol contents was 26%. Like, that's like a bottle of rum. That's terrible, awful stuff. So we sipped that for a little bit, and I said to Ray, I said, we better get back to the barge. And next thing you know, we're going to have to get back to the ship.
So Frank, just another question. So was there something that the locals would put in it to not make it taste as good? And just remind me again.
That was a lemon extract. And what it did, it took that sharpness off the beer because it was very bitter.
Right.
And the lemon extract sort of cut that.
Okay.
And they didn't put much in the bottom of the glass, maybe eighth of an inch or, not much, just a little bit in the bottom of the glass.
So what was the content like? What was the alcohol content like?
26%. So that's very strong.
Okay.
That's like a bottle of rum.
Wow.
That's pretty strong stuff. Anyways, we got down on the barge and we started heading out, and it was dead calm. Tugboat was taking us out, and we just got going a little bit, and I could hear plop, 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 and I thought, oh my God! And I realized these guys were with us. They were passing out and falling face first into the ocean.
Oh boy.
Dead calm, green water. I never seen green water in my life like that. Anyways, stopped the barge, picked them up, got them on, laid them down, got to the ship, and of course now we got to go up 2 flights, 2 decks with a rope ladder. Well, of course they can't get up; they can't even stand. So the captain shows up on the flight deck, and I could see him looking down, and he said, "You guys can stand. You lay those other guys inside this big net, and we're going to hoist them up with the crane." So he's got the crane operator there, hauling up, and he gets them up over the deck and says, hold on. He gets a fire hose.
Just a second though, Frank, just one question for you. Sorry. So they're in this crane sort of like basket. Was it a basket or a net?
Just a big net.
So it's a big net. So how many people would be in that net at one time getting hauled up?
I would say 15 or 16 possibly.
15 or 16 people all tangled in a net.
All tangled in a net, and up
and
how the air,
how high was this?
Like them up and then hose them down with ice cold water, lays them down, and the guys that were still standing, he said, take them down to their messes, get them in their bunks.
But how high was this? They had to get up though. Like what are we talking? Like just in terms of stories?
Like 35 feet. You'd have to climb up.
Okay.
Rope ladder. That's quite a ways. Going down is not so bad. Going up, even because the ship is not really rocking, but the barge is moving a little bit.
Okay.
But going down is easy. Going up is not so easy. I had a hard time going up it.
Wow.
Just the fact that you basically got to climb up the side of the ship on this big net.
Okay.
But so anyways, the captain he made a big announcement. He said, by the way, port watch, you will not be going ashore this afternoon because the starboard watch made a fool of themselves. Made us look terrible.
Oh boy.
And but I got to hand it to the captain. He got right involved. He got the fire hose. He soaked them down too, and I think he was having a bit of a chuckle. I didn't know him personally because we had 1,200 people on the ship.
Wow,
that's a lot of men.
Yeah.
But I did know who he was, and I can't remember his name now. Anyways, but it's a long time ago. Wow. But it was quite the event. And we actually somebody asked me one day about were we ever to war. I said, well, I was on ground that there was a war going on, so I guess I was.
There you go.
To a certain degree. But we didn't get any blue berets for that. They said, no, you got to be in the Army to have that. You got to be right there. Well, we were on the ground. We were on the ship. Why can't we have a blue beret? Well, they said it's just for NATO members who are doing exercises. So I guess we lost out on that one. But anyways, so that's story number 1.
Wow. Man, oh man.
How'd that one turn out?
Just a quick question for you. I'm not sure if I asked this already, but was this when you first, you left Halifax and you got to Cyprus? And so when the time that this thing happened, was this how many days in were you? When you got to Cyprus, was this at the beginning or where was this?
Well, this would be day 2.
Day 2.
Was day 2. Day 1 is get the Army off. Day 2 was us go ashore in the morning. And day 2 was the afternoon. Guys never did get ashore because our group, they were drunk. They were whacked.
Oh boy. Wow.
Yeah, they were whacked. And, those things happen. you know, and you know, and I could say in the day, you know, the early '60s. I had been in 3 years in the service then. 4 years, 64, 4 years, 5 years in, 5 years. I was 5 years in at that particular time. So, so yeah, but that's what happens. People get carried away with themselves, and they don't realize what they're doing. And you know, beer is so bloody strong, you know, and it's 95 degrees out, and you're in your uniform, and you know, it doesn't take much. You know, people are passing out, they're falling down.
Wow.
So, yeah. But it was quite the thing. But to hear the plop, the plop, the plop, and then realize what it was. Their guys were face first falling off the bar. The barge was flat. It was about 18 inches off the water.
Okay.
No railing,
boy.
railing. So you're standing, not even rope. You're just standing on this thing. And of course, God knows how many was on there. Probably, you know, a couple hundred for sure. And you know, and luckily no waves, just dead. The only little wave was, you know, the wave from the tugboat make a little wake. But you can imagine it was rough seas. Oh my God, we would have lost men.
Yeah.
Lost men at that point.
Well, good thing nobody was seriously hurt.
That wouldn't have been a story that you want to tell.
Yeah. I hope everybody enjoyed that story from Frank. He has a few more, so stay tuned, both from his time in the forces and also a few from as he's working in the private sector. Also, just remind everybody, please check out my book on Patreon, Send Me Places. Link is going to be in the description. And if you have an idea for a podcast, if you want to share your story from your time in the forces, please give me a shout or just send me an email at eric.north@steadynotion.com. Look forward to hearing from you. Have a great day. We'll talk soon. Cheers.